Onto this now. On Monday, South Africa will celebrate and reflect on Workers' Day. Now, experts say it's also a chance for the country to investigate the quality of human capital that we do have in the context of a rapidly changing future of work. And for more on this, I am now joined by Sharon Pearce, who is the co-founder and CEO of FreshVision Consulting. Thank you so much for your time, Sharon. I think let's start the conversation here. Globally, there are various disruptors to the future of work with advancements in technology and now artificial intelligence actually making that dent or that impact. Can you paint us a picture of where South Africa lies in this landscape and some of the key workplace trends that we are seeing in our markets?
Thank you and good morning. Yes, I think, technology and digitalization is definitely a focus area across organizations at the moment. Reimagining how we serve our customers means a significant shift in the nature of the work that we do to service them. So cross-channel servicing like bots as well as the talent we match to the servicing are a real focus for us and what sits behind that. So eliminating repetitive and administrative work and shifting the design of jobs is really a consequence of this. So there's the nature of work that we do and that is needed in organizations is something that we are seeing a complete shift in. Our education system, I think you asked me as well, what is the shift in South Africa? Our education system, primary, secondary, and tertiary, are not doing a lot necessarily to prepare us for these changes, and one of the things I'll speak about a little bit later. But given that we participate in a global marketplace, we're also starting to see a significant shift in the fact that we are competing for talent globally, but it also means that South Africans have access to earning in completely different currencies, even though they stay here. We are starting to see South African talent becoming quite a demand for countries like the Netherlands and Ireland. We're seeing quite a lot of South Africans immigrating to do jobs in those countries, particularly technical jobs. We're also seeing polyjobbing becoming quite a big trend, so being able to do more than one job, and large American organizations targeting South Africans to say, guys, you can work at night for us while you work in a day for your South African company. So, normal 8 to 5 jobs are becoming, not, a thing of the past. You can do 2 if you'd like.
Yeah.
So technology has shifted where we work as well, which means people have a choice and are demanding way more flexibility with the ability to work anywhere. I say that once again, Tokozo doesn't apply to the entire value chain of South African workers. As we know, a lot of our industries are not yet that modernized. But, yeah, those are some of the trends we're seeing.
And Sharon, just speaking of South Africans holding or the opportunities to hold more than one job, or reports are already showing that South Africa has some of the longest working hours in the world. I would assume that is not something to be proud of, but is there then untapped opportunity there when it comes to how to really make the most of the workforce that the country has?
Yeah, I think there are many upsides to this. I think we must first acknowledge, that South Africans have for years been commuting very long hours and working long hours. It's something that's been ingrained in our communities for a very long time. Working long and hard, though, is an advantage for us. It means that we're, up for the, ripe for the picking, so to speak. So the ability to work more flexibly, given our propensity to work hard and differently, comes at an advantage to everyone who is looking to side hustle or, create additional experience by doing multiple diverse things. I think we're seeing that the youth are wanting a diverse career portfolio over time, not wanting to be boxed into specific, careers anymore. And so I think with our innate ability and need to work the way we do, we have the opportunity to work in many different countries, doing many different things. Also, how we organize work can shift. So, the ability to accommodate more flexible working arrangements is one thing that, as a country, being more flexible, we're able to do things that maybe other workers aren't willing to do today.
Yeah. And Sharon, part of the conscious living movement is finding, that more equitable balance between work life and personal life. How is South Africa ranking when it comes to achieving that?
So, I mean, I'm one of those people who thinks, I think there's so much fusion between work and life. And for South Africans, again, if we take our past into consideration, with migrant workers and stuff, work-life balance has been an issue for many years. It's one of those things that we just have never really had. I think the reality, though, is that the workforce is shifting significantly. Our youth are demanding a way more social conscience orientated organization, a way more human organization or human-centric organization, wanting and valuing time quite significantly. So I think, as the majority of the workforce in 2025 will, be under the age of 25, that are opting for different ways of working and different orientation around work, we are going to have to rethink how we contract with our workforce going forward, just in terms of the ability to shift, the amount of activity we're forcing people to engage in, and shifting what people do to measuring the outcome of that performance if we are going to achieve any semblance of work-life balance in the future. So, I think the reality is that workers are demanding a different way of contracting, and we're not great at work-life balance. I know, speaking for ourselves, you're up at ridiculous hours. Work has become so ingrained. I think we have to learn to live with it, and live with it in a flexible way.
And just as a closing remark, Sharon, Workers' Day has traditionally reflected on apartheid and workers during that period. And many would argue that, workers still face some of the similar issues and challenges, including those long working hours, commuting to work, and stagnating salary increases. What do you think the focus on Workers' Day should be now going into the future?
Thanks. I reflected a bit on this question, and I think given the nature of apartheid and the beast it was and in some ways still is, the systemic inequality we still live with today, I don't think it's reasonable that a focus will go away for many years to come. Having said that, we're in a bit of a heightened storm when we throw into the mix the absence of real leadership to drive the investments we need to shift the country as a whole. So for as long as we perpetuate the systemic inequality with a lack of deliberate action, I don't mean the action of compliance, I mean real targeted action, we're likely to stay in this place a while. So I think we need to focus our attention on really the benefit of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and more so, and shifting towards belonging, not only because of our damning past, but because the law says so, but because it's an absolute no-brainer to have diversity of thought, action, ideas, insights, cultural and other, to be successful. Representing the markets you serve should be an imperative, because how do you serve a customer you have no connection to? So with a shift in the future of work to skills-based hiring, South Africa will need to do more. We cannot forgo degrees without some alternatives. We need to reconsider things like, access to the web for all and the ability to reskill and upskill through alternative options. I mean, how do we expect to grow a nation of learners and create continuous learning when buying data is restrictive? It's hard to learn here. So reintroducing the mechanisms for South Africans to acquire micro-credentials and learning alternative skills, investing in the modernization of our infrastructure and industry, means we actually do need to reskill and upskill our workforce quite differently, and we have to provide access to that. We have a long way to go, I think. And a lot to do.
Yeah, and a lot certainly to ponder and a lot to do. As you said, let's leave it there for now. Sharon, thank you so much for your time. Of course, that was Sharon Pearce, who is the founder and CEO at FreshVision, and she's also Flex Trends business transformation specialist, disruptionist, and solutionist.